On our part 2 of algebra, we're going to be looking at how to solve equation, and these equations comes in two ways when given a graph that is like this, where we have our x and we have our y, and one graph involves what is known to be a curve, and this curve is shown as this, and the other one which is expressed as this. And so what we're going to do is to describe these two graphs, and we are going to explain that yes, by definition this represents a linear equation, while on the other hand this curve that is shown right here represents a quadratic equation. And what does this look like when we are expressing them in equation form? We see that for our linear equation, it is expressed as y equals mx plus b, and while for our quadratic equation, it is expressed as y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Now our goal here is to solve for x. And what does this mean? This means that we need to highlight what is the x-intercept, and what that means here for x-intercept is that for both equations, our linear and our quadratic, we want to define where our y equals 0, as well as for our quadratic, what is or what are our x values. So in order for we to address this, we're going to look at the linear equation first and how to determine that solution, and while on the other side we're going to determine what the quadratic equation is for its solution. So let's begin. This here is going to be rewritten as this, where we have 0 equals mx plus b. Now our first step here is to be able to subtract our b from both sides. We are going to have our 0 minus b to be equal to mx plus b minus b. Therefore, by cancelling out the b's on the right side, we have our minus b to be equal to our m multiplied by our x. Now our final step is to divide both sides by our m, and this results in the following expression, which is shown to be our x to be equal to minus b divided by m. And this is gotten from, take note, where we have our minus b equals to mx, and we are dividing both sides by our m. Therefore our m cancels out on the right side, and we have this to be shown here. Therefore this means that we just have one solution to this expression here, which is gotten from our graph right over here, and this here is figured out when we're looking at this point region right here, where we have our x value to be represented as what? Minus b over m, where our y is what? Equal to 0 for our linear equation on this graph. Now the other part here we're going to look at is the quadratic equation, and what is the solution to this equation. Now when we were given this equation and we say that our y is equal to 0, we have our new equation to be expressed as ax squared plus bx plus c to be equal to 0. Therefore what this means is that we need to recognize that 0 implies that where y is equal to 0, what are the x values. Therefore by solving for x, we need to use the quadratic formula, which is equal to x to be equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac or divided by 2a. And what does this mean? This means that we can have three conditions, and these conditions depends heavily on this segment here of our equation, and this segment here implies that it is known as the discriminant, and the discriminant helps us to determine what solutions do we have for x. Do we have 1, 2, or none? And so in here we have three possible outcomes. One possible outcome is the following, where our discriminant is less than 0. What that means is that we have no solution, as shown like this, where we have our curve not touching the x-axis. Now the next is where our discriminant is equal to 0. Therefore, we're going to have a new graph that shows the following, where our curve just touches the x-axis, and this can be shown either in that way or in this particular way right over here. Therefore, we just have one solution. And finally, where our discriminant is greater than 0, we're going to have two solutions for our x. Therefore, we're going to have our parabola will be shown as either these right here or these right here, where the above parabola has two solutions and the below parabola has also two solutions. So I hope you found this really informative in terms of discriminants, how they play a role in the solution to a quadratic equation as shown right here, as well as how to determine a solution to a linear equation. I hope you found this really informative. Hit the comment down below, let me hear your thought about this. By that way, we can talk to you soon. Stay smart as always and believe in yourselves.